Should pop up, yeah. Just waiting now.
So you're only gonna start the video once people will join there.
No, start now. As soon as the live starts. So it should be live now. Yes, now we're live. Hello, everybody. What's up? No, it's a bit delayed. We've been on for a bit.
I shouldn't have been on for 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I was prepared. It's fine. We just need to wait. Wait for some people to jump on. There's always a bit of a delay. So we will wait in anticipation for everybody. It's a big game today, Ryan. It's been how long since we watched? Over a year. Since we watched the Japan game live. So it's still very fresh in memory, I think. It's kind of feels like it was just the other day, but at the same time, I know I'm gonna watch it and just remember so many things, like it's a brand new memory.
Yeah, I mainly remember just the England victory, the 32-12.
Garen says that rap song was fire. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Garen. Appreciate it, man. It was hard work, but it was fun. It's actually something I was planning for a while, and yeah, just glad it could finally come to fruition and actually just say we could get it out there. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. For those who are on, the game is in the description, the link. Please let me know if there's any problems, if you can't hear us, or if the video quality is bad, but it should be fine. I've tested it a lot, so yeah, should be great. We luckily the game is on the World Rugby website, the YouTube channel, so we can watch it with no problems. Kickoff, we're going to start at kickoff. No need to watch the anthems or anything. The kickoff's at there, 8 minutes 47 seconds. Yeah. So that's where kickoff is. Now, pop-up chat. There we go. Ryan, where were you when you watched this for the first time?
This is my living room. I was with my dad, basically with the family.
Yeah. It's same for me. I was also just at home watching it. During the World Cup, you actually want to do something for every game. Like you want to have friends over or something, but it's not always possible, because World Cup, there's so many games that they play in such a short amount of time. So yeah, you run out of money and it just becomes a bit of a hassle.
No, well, to be honest, I would say that I underestimated Japan going into this because remember we played them before the World Cup started, and then we beat them. We gave them a thrashing. We gave them our little revenge match for them beating us. So I was like, no, okay, this will be a walkthrough,
Yeah.
But they gave us a run for our money. they had me on my toes for a few minutes of the game, but yeah.
Absolutely. If you guys can, if it's still working, please just send a comment. I just want to make sure we haven't had a comment in a while, so I just want to make sure. Can you maybe check on your phone? Just make sure we're working fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with that Japan game, I think they surprised everyone. Yeah, they beat Ireland in the group stage. They beat Scotland. Okay, yeah, we live. Perfect. Yeah, cool. You can, yeah. Okay, and it's, hi, I'm a huge fan. Thanks, Freshie. We appreciate that a lot. So, yeah, especially after that huge thrashing that we gave to Japan just before the World Cup, I think a lot of people were a bit overconfident, but at the same time, I think a lot of people thought we would actually lose as well, because Japan were just in such great form, and they were at home, and everyone was hoping they would win. So there was a large part of this game, I remember, where it was very close, and you actually didn't know what was going to happen. But we're gonna try and pretend like we don't remember what the final result is. We're gonna try.
Well, yeah, like I don't know how many of you guys that are watching this have seen Chasing the Sun, the whole little mini series, I guess you could call it. But yeah, like I said, when it came to this quarterfinal and we're playing in Japan, Japan's attitude towards South Africans or this is like specifically the team itself and their family members that were with them changed drastically. And that's what I also think maybe just might have affected us a tiny bit going into the match. Not having the support of the fans that we normally would have. But yeah, I guess it is understandable. Japan doesn't want their own country cheering for the opposition at the same time they're cheering for their home team. So yeah, but yeah, afterwards, they changed back over to our side, but they knew who was the best. That's why.
Yeah, they knew. Matthew says, "Hi, how's it, Matt? Thanks for joining us.
What's up?
Was hope you're as excited as we are." Um, the Japanese fans were really cool though during the World Cup. Even during that Japan South Africa match, there were quite a lot of Japanese supporters
Yeah.
supporting the Springboks, which was pretty interesting.
Well, if you saw, like, half of them would have half their like Japanese face paint on, and the other half would be the South African face paint. So it was quite actually surprising, firstly, to see that, but also quite not humbling, but it was nice, and
Yeah.
I didn't expect it, and it actually like makes you feel proud of your country.
Yes, absolutely. So, guys, for everyone that's on, it's 7 o'clock now, so we should have people hopping on. So, let's start with the match. We are starting at kickoff. The link is in the description to the game, so you can watch along with us. Unfortunately, we can't show it on here because of copyright infringements. It's at about 8 minutes 47 seconds in the YouTube video that it's kickoff. Okay, so that's where we're starting. Starting in 3, 2,
Let's go.
1. Ah. Ooh. We have to F them up physically.
Good quote from Rassi.
Yeah, before this match, I just had a feeling that we would be way too physical for the Japanese because they're not a very big team. They're a very talented team, but they're not a strong physical team. Yeah, already an exciting start. Just like it. 100 kicks, Makazola Mampimpi putting his body on the line there. What a hero. Did you cry during that scene? I had to try hard not to cry. We're talking about the scene where Rusty's speaking about the jersey.
Yes.
Flippin' sad. The more. Yeah, so Bongi obviously started this game ahead of Malcolm, and Beast would have started ahead of Stephen, which was a bit of a controversial decision. A lot of people didn't agree with it, but I think Bongi is a really solid player. He's really reliable.
I would say quite a few people underestimate him, and he's underrated. I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
Mixing the two together.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 11 guys on. Yeah, 11 viewers. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I think we only lost 1 or 2 lineouts in the whole World Cup, eh? And we stole a lot as well. Good defense. Defense won us this World Cup.
Yes, I will have to agree with that, yeah.
That looked forward. Yeah. Oh, is that a tussle over there? Nah. What? Not Angus Gardner? Is it? What's his name?
You're talking about the ref?
Yeah.
I don't focus on refs' names.
It's either Wayne Barnes or Angus Gardner. I think it's Wayne Barnes.
He looks like a Wayne.
Sorry, where is Evan May? Who are the best 2 SA rugby YouTubers? I don't know. Hopefully we are. Garen, where in the game are we now? We are at 2 minutes 42 seconds on the game time.
In the video, it's 11 and a half minutes.
In the video, yeah. But let's stay on the match time.
But yeah.
So it's just under 3 minutes now. They're about to do a scrum.
To answer Evan's question, I would like to think it's us two. I'd feel like Casper Lee, he does sort of hit the ranks there, but he's mainly in England now, so...
But he doesn't do rugby.
Yeah.
Does he?
No. As far as I know, he doesn't do rugby, but yeah. So I would say us two, but I also don't really do rugby.
Yeah. Guys, by the way, Ryan has a YouTube channel. You must check it out, Capio7. You have done Oh, what a try! What a try! What a freaking try! My peepee! Oh, that was fantastic. Just like it. That must have been a planned move. It looked like it was kind of a spur of the moment move.
Do you think it was the move?
One of the moves. Let's have a look here. Yeah, because they're making it obvious that they want to go to the open side. You can see his body language, Faf's body language, and then he changes last minute. Brilliant. And Mampimpi,
he's just too quick. He's just too quick.
I don't know how he finished that try. Keeping it real with Robbie. How's it, Robbie? Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Robbie has a really cool podcast you guys must check out. He interviews different sports celebrities, mainly South African sports celebrities. He's had quite a lot of big names. Dylan Lades and a few others. So definitely check him out. Thanks for joining us, Robbie. Now, at this point in the game, you're thinking, it's looking good for us, eh? It's looking really good. We've already scored a try. Oh, Andre just missed it there, which isn't normal for him. No, he's a reliable kicker. So at this point, it's looking really good for Springbok fans.
The thing is that a lot of the time people will look at like Andre Pollard and think, why does he miss it? But you don't understand the pressure he has to go through, knowing that every point counts towards the game. So knowing he can't miss a kick, but that's just the pressure and anxiety that builds up, just especially in a quarterfinal, the knockout stage.
Absolutely, and it wasn't an easy kick. So and he almost got it.
But you know how the saying goes, close but no cigar.
Close but no cigar. We have 5 minutes, 20 seconds now, in case you've just popped on. Probably going to go with the exit, yeah? Fafi?
Yeah. As most of you know from watching Chasing the Sun, the kicking game was a big help for South Africa.
Definitely. It was highly criticized, but very necessary. Yes. That looked like a penalty by Peter Steff, eh?
No, man.
He was playing him. By the way, Ryan's a Western Province referee, so he can provide some nice insight into the laws of the game.
But yeah, I feel like the main reason is because they knew how physical they can be with their opponents. That's why they wanted the opponents to mainly have the ball. And so they can defend and just tackle the hell out of the opponents and show them who's the real boss on the field.
Yeah. Leech. Japan have very good handling skills, very good with the ball. A lot of people call them like a mini New Zealand in the way they play. But do you think they deserve to be a tier 1 nation?
Yeah. Well, they've proven it. I would say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, no. But they've come to show that they can put up a fair fight.
Yeah, I think also, they perform very well. They've performed very well in the last 2 World Cups, but I guess we also need to make sure they perform well between World Cups.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if we could see them participate in some more big competitions. Good move there. Check. They had a huge overlap there, and we still managed to take them down.
Because we put the pressure on them from the get-go, that's why.
But
see, like you said, some people refer to them as like the mini New Zealand. As you can see from their passing, they like to go quick hands, like New Zealand likes to do. Just play the line because you want to get the overlap so they can get you to the wing, so the wing can just run and score a try.
Absolutely. Line speed, so important. We've got a question for Ryan. Jordan asks, Ryan, who is your favorite ref on the cup at the moment? That's a good question.
It's a difficult choice because a lot of them had their good games.
The Curry Cup, sorry.
The Curry Cup.
Yeah. Who do you think is the best player in the Curry Cup?
Well, I would like it to be me.
One day.
One day, yeah. I missed a few games. I haven't seen a few of the refs yet in the Curry Cup, so I won't have an answer for you yet. But yeah, because I've been busy with work and just trying to keep up with the healthy lifestyle, going to gym and everything. So yeah.
And you just finished exams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
that's why I haven't posted in a while.
from I've been keeping up to date a lot with the Curry Cup. That's brilliant running by Makazola there. Excellent. He is such a strong ball carrier. Let's just watch this attack, then we'll continue with your question, Jordan. Uh, yeah, that's good. Don't underestimate Japan. Their defense is good. Oh, turnover. But I think just after facing our carries and our defense, they just got too sore and tired over time. But yeah, I've been following the Curry Cup quite a bit, and the refing has actually been really disappointing.
And for those who are watching Chasing the Sun, you'd know this is when Villy hurt his shoulder.
Yes, he got nerve damage there.
Yep. And this is when he started to drop quite a few of the kicks and the catches.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just thought he was being terrible. I'll have to admit, I was one of them because obviously not knowing what happened to him, just seeing him drop those high balls that he normally wouldn't drop, then I was like, come on, man, like, is the pressure getting to you? What's happening?
Yeah, you can see he's in pain there. He's a real warrior. Whose penalty was that? No, knock on. Oh, do you see that? Straight into Peter Steph.
That's like ramming your shoulder into a tree trunk.
I would be scared just touching Peter Steph to toy. He freaking shoulder charged him there. But yeah, we've taken a long time to finish Jordan's question. But yeah, the standard of reffing at the Curry Cup has been very bad. Yeah. Anyway, the Rugby Center. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. You must check out his page on Instagram as well. Awesome page. His designs are fantastic. Also a great way to keep up to date with news of rugby. There's Rassie Erasmus, the head coach. 5-0 now. We're at 9 minutes 3 seconds. He asked 100%. They got the money, and players now just need regular big games now. Yeah, so I think he's referring to whether or not they deserve to be a tier 1 nation. So yeah, I think they do. Is Italy a tier 1 nation? Are they considered a tier 1 nation?
I feel like they've been underrated for a few games. I haven't really watched most of the games.
Yeah.
But according to all these Rugby 07 and Rugby 08, they're quite highly rated.
Yeah. Well, I would just like to see them perform well in a major competition apart from the World Cup, because especially this World Cup, I'm not trying to take anything away from Japan because they did really well, but they were the home team and they had a lot of support behind them. The whole world, except for South Africans, was against us in this match because everyone wanted Japan to win. But that's not to take anything away from Japan. I just do think they need to perform outside of a World Cup against top nations. Yeah. We've got a scrum now. Let's see our gorgeous scrum there. Look at that power. Ooh, not too good for us there. Eh? Yeah, we are dominating. Beastie's got it there. Ooh. I think we still dominated that one. Up and under. Yes, boys.
Colby's a fierce player.
Ooh, he is, eh? Oh, there it is. There it is. I remember my heart just dropped in this moment.
And you can see how apologetic, the beast is.
Immediately, sorry. We had 9 minutes 48 seconds. The spear attack which just happened.
I would say the ref handled that situation quite well because in most cases, like I've had before, tackle like that, there's normally retaliation from the oppositions, and they like to go after the player who's hurt their own teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think, because we know this was a yellow card, do you think that was a fair decision?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have given the same call.
Main reason being because he landed on his arm first.
Shoulder arm. You can see he wants.
That's my main reason. And obviously the beast is lucky because if his arm wasn't there, he would have landed directly on his neck and head area, which would have been a direct red card.
I think that's also a fair call. Yeah, and I remember late in this game, we will see it later on. There was a really bad tackle in the air by a Japanese player, which I thought could have been a card as well, but they didn't get a card for it. So I think that kind of evened it out because a lot of people were saying, Springboks were lucky, but Japan also had a really dirty move, which I'll point out later on. But as you said, unintentional, you could see probably the right call. And this is where things started to look very scary and intimidating for us. 10 minutes, we're only 5 points ahead. They've got a line out now, right outside our try line. It's scary stuff. What?
I read Jordan's comment now.
Yeah, let's first read Rugby Centres. Oh, good charge down, good take by Lucanio.
See, our defense is on point, and
Oh,
that's one
Damien.
thing. That's one thing everybody took for granted.
14 men. We have 14 men here, and they didn't score a try in this phase. That is phenomenal.
And not just not scoring a try, we pushed them back.
We pushed them back. They didn't score. The Rugby Centre. What do you think? Should World Rugby dump money into Asian rugby and help build a competition there, or should they join Rugby Championship? What do you think?
I don't. Unfortunately, I know this will be biased, but I don't want them to join the Rugby Championship because I feel like those might be, but easy wins in the beginning for like obviously for us as well because we're a strong team. It's just I think it'll downgrade the whole like rivalry that's in it. So, because we're strong teams. Australia, Argentina now they're getting better, but also in New Zealand, everyone likes to see that original Tri-Nation competition happening because it's strong teams going against one another. There's very few points that are scored most of the time because the defense and attack is so like well thought out and well planned. But I think like, maybe yes, Asia can have their own competition to start off, and then maybe venture out into Europe and obviously not Six Nations, but maybe bring out like get Russia to join them. Germany, just get the less like the weaker teams in a sense, and get them to join so they can get more practice and then build their teams, get stronger, and then who knows what the future can have for them.
Yeah, I think the problem is obviously there's not enough competition for them in Asia. I mean, they even had a competition against the Pacific Isles teams, Fiji and all of them, and that wasn't very competitive.
Yeah.
So maybe they would be a better fit in the Six Nations.
Obviously, I don't want to ruin the Six Nations, but like I was thinking now, in a sense, in order for weaker teams to get stronger, they need to play against strong teams as well, so they can know what they're playing against and they can used to playing at that level. So also they can test their teams and be able to properly train for those type of matches.
But I don't think Europe will like the different time zones. That was a brilliant interception by Faf de Klerk.
It's great reading of the game.
Every time we make contact, we make easy yards because we're just so strong and physical. And now Japan look okay, but we're wearing them down. You can see.
And the latching is on point.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe what a good idea could be is if we had a relegation promotion system where the team that comes last in Six Nations gets relegated, like Italy. Italy don't actually deserve to be there. They've really underperformed. Not permanently, maybe just for a season or two, they should get relegated and give someone else, even like Georgia, a chance. But yeah, Japan, they need to be in some sort of major competition. For me, I don't think something in Asia would be that beneficial, but it's a hard topic. It really is, because there's not space for everyone. Oh, see, now that was dangerous, my friends. That was dangerous. That's not the one I was talking about, but that was dangerous.
It'll be. It's a difficult situation for a ref, especially the level I'm refereeing at right now. Because obviously, yeah, professional. You have the the TMO, you have your assistant refs. Whereas like schoolboy rugby and club rugby, you don't really have your TMOs. Unless I actually know.
Yeah, you don't.
The only time you'll have a TMO is schoolboy rugby, and that's the Super A League. Yeah, sometimes when it's televised, that's the only time you'll have TMO. Whereas a club rugby, you won't have any TMO, so it's right there. It's on field decision. You can maybe have the only time you'll have linesmen at club rugby is if you're lucky, you'll have one linesman at the third team match, but then you have two linesmen at the second team and first team. So those are the only time you really can go to your linesman and ask him. Otherwise, for me, I normally when I started off doing under 20 matches.
Yeah.
But then I didn't have linesmen that were official linesmen, so I couldn't really rely on their decisions and listen to them. So I had to go on my own view of the game and where I was situated, like, especially when it comes to those no try situations. Yeah. And now this as well. If you're not positioned correctly, it might look like the Japan player took him out in the air.
Yeah, I think Now, when I watched the replay, they actually didn't look that bad because it looked like Leach was genuinely going for the ball, and it looked like they sort of went up in the air at the same time.
Yeah, and that is why the ref didn't, give that penalty, because they both went for the ball, they both
Yeah.
contested for the ball. It's unfortunate that obviously neither of them really got possession of the ball, and that Leach, in that process of trying to go for the ball, did take out Villy.
Yeah, and Villy's a warrior because he's got nerve damage on his shoulder,
he
as
got-
we
yeah.
now know, and he's reaching for that. So
And he got right back up from that, takeout. So
yeah. Okay, this should be interesting. We've got 7 men in the scrum. Kitchi is on. I think it's the second one since the yellow. Well held by us, but now they're coming on the attack. Oof.
they try to go for an interception there, but
Our line speed's just too good, eh? We're right up there. We
think
suffocate them.
that can be dangerous if you push too
Ooh.
fast, because then the team can read it sometimes, and they can judge it, and they just trip over you, and then there's your whole defense gone, and they just run past you.
Exactly.
But obviously we held it together. We held strong, like we stuck together, and we were a strong team, especially the defense. The backline, they were there with their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh. Oh.
See this? Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't like this moment.
Oh, such good recovery defense, sir.
That's where like my heart skipped a beat there. I was like, oh no.
This is so scary. But this really is what makes a champion side, the fact that we could defend this.
But also it keeps the game interesting though, because you don't want like a walkthrough or just a complete whitewash where it's like 37-0. Like it's not, then the quarterfinal won't be that interesting. Whereas this is a close game, it makes everything so much more like intense and keeps you on your toes, and you don't know what to expect.
Very true. But to be honest, in the moment, I just want the Springboks to win it by as much as possible. Because you want your team just to win no matter what. Yes, steal it. Brilliant steal by Dialendi. I must say the fetching of the backline players, our backline players in the World Cup was very good, eh? You could see there's quite all the Springbok training footage available on YouTube. And you could see it was really solid. They worked a lot on those players, on the breakdown, backline players, forwards.
Because like you said, like we've also said in the beginning of this video, is that they relied on their defense a lot. So therefore, they'll kick the ball. That's why they kicked a lot. They kicked so they can gain territory into the opposition's own backyard, if we can say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would rely on the backline players to get to those rucks as fast as possible, to retrieve the ball. So basically steal the ball back. So therefore, we've gained possession. Yes, we gave the ball away in the beginning, but we gained it back. And now we've gained our possession as well. So now we're a lot closer.
Exactly.
Strategies.
Bro.
And like Rashi says, we must F them up
physically. Boys, I've thought about it. We must F them up physically. I can't do a Racing impersonation, but
I saw him once in the gym.
Yeah, Ryan once saw him in the gym. He actually lives very close to us. I'm not going to say where.
As much as I wanted to take a photo with him, I just thought, we're both there just to gym and get our fitness in. So I was like, I'm not going to bother him. I'm not going to, because he must probably just thought,
good man.
He must probably thought, okay, I can come to this gym because it's nice and quiet. Nobody's really going to bother me. So I just left him.
Yeah, that must have been scary, eh?
It wasn't scary. I was
not scary.
More like fanboy.
Just a bit intimidating.
For me, it was like fanboy moment. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Rossi. Oh.
Yeah, of course.
At first, I was like, nah, it's a lookalike.
Yeah, because they always look a little different in person.
He's taller than I expected.
How tall is he? Taller than you?
Yeah, I think he's taller than me. Yeah.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. He was sitting down a lot, and whenever he was standing, I was sitting down. So obviously that proportion was a bit off. So I don't know, there's only a few times when you're standing, but I wasn't staring at him when I was standing. I was focusing on my workout. But
yeah.
He seems to be taller than me, either my height or taller.
We'll answer that now. I just want to say, guys, it's so demoralizing for an attacking team when they are unable to score, when they are look how far back they've been pushed from our defensive line. That is so demoralizing for a team, and that's what builds character, and this is what broke them down mentally. Forward pass there, making mistakes because we put the pressure on. Jordan Lambus. Hey, Ryan. Unrelated note. Which gym do you go to?
Oh, it's already been answered.
You can say, yeah.
No, it's already been answered in the chat.
Virgin Active Dermville. He goes there.
Yeah,
and
by the Deville Center.
Kadla has answered that. Yeah, he goes to Virgin Active Dermville. Yeah. So, Kadla, we're guessing you also go there.
No,
otherwise,
she doesn't. She just knows me.
Oh, does she know you?
It's a friend of mine.
Okay. Oh, Kadla, yeah, okay. Keeping it real with Robbie. Rassi is a legend. Yes, he is. No, he's a real legend.
But
when are you going to game on the podcast, Robbie? I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I'm just a stalker. I'm honored to have a stalker. But yeah, Jordan, to answer your question, I don't know if you're trying to find out where Rassi was going to gym, but I haven't seen him since. It was the one time that I saw him there. So, but otherwise, if you were really curious to see where I went to gym, to see maybe if I go to a gym where you go to, sure, yeah, I go to Virgin Active. But yeah, unfortunately, Rassi hasn't been back since that I've seen. So.
Yeah, Virgin Active. It's nice if you have the money. I do Zone Fitness, much cheaper. The Rugby Centre. So, what is your thoughts on the likelihood that the Boks won't play a Test match till next year spring, making it so close to 18 months since the World Cup final? How do you think the effect? Can I answer this first?
Yeah, go for it.
I definitely think that we will play warm-up matches before the Lions tour. They will make that arrangements, even if it's against, Fiji, Georgia, whatever. We will play some sort of warm-up match, even if it's against like the Stormers. They will play some sort of match. So I do think that we will be prepared.
So you want the Springboks to play against the Stormers, but the Stormers have Springboks in them. So you want
the B team.
So you want to weaken the Stormers by taking out the Springboks?
No, man. I meant obviously without the Springboks, but. Yeah, I definitely think we have to play some sort of warm-up. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough one for us. But I think people are a bit overconfident thinking we don't have a chance because we're not playing this year. Don't write us off. I'm not saying you're writing us off Rugby Centre, but people in general. Matthew Smith says he just joined now. Cool, Matthew. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you. We are now at 18 minutes on the match time. It's 5-0. Still a yellow card. Lots of pressure on. There's a scrum for us. Excellent defense we've been seeing. Kitchoff is struggling there. Yeah. Dominated. We have dominated there. I think it's maybe one of the only times in the match we were dominated in the scrums. But well done, Japan. That was a good scrum.
I wouldn't say we're as much dominated as they were trying to keep possession of the ball, so they forced their own, caving in. So, yeah.
But that's really impressive because, our front row was probably the best in the World Cup. And Japan destroyed us there. Doesn't even matter that we only had 7 guys there. That's the front row that...
We almost lose the ball, so then he wants to gain back possession and they push in.
That was a good scrum. The fact that Japan, if you said 15 years ago that Japan would beat the Springboks in a single scrum, people would tell you you're crazy. The fact that they can do set pieces now, incredible.
See, look how happy they
are. Sian, is it Sian? It is Sian, eh?
I would say so.
Sian, I think it's probably Sian. Hello there. Hi, Sian. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm pretty sure.
Great to have you. Thank you.
If you're still there, just say yes or no. If it's Sian, just say yes. If we're pronouncing it correctly. Or Sian.
Sian.
It's a nice name. Accent, nee.
It's a nice name, yeah.
Van Niekerk.
Ja.
Regte Afrikaner.
Regte Afrikaner. We have to... No, it's not. Is it...
Yeah, then that's my only guess.
Chian. No, it can't be Chian. No. Chian. Help me here. I'm the only one guessing here.
I told you, that was my only guess.
Help us out here. Mr. Van Niekerk. We're just going to call you Mr. Van Niekerk. Help us out.
Meneer Van Niekerk.
Write how it's pronounced in the chat so we know.
Help us like Google helps us.
So Japan now have 3 points. It's 5-3. It's the only points they score in the whole game. So
don't ruin it for them.
uh,
I see, and now the captain's back, and so is the beast.
yes, we got the boy cheese back. Now the Thunder's going to come back. I hope this is the first time I'm trying a YouTube live. I hope everything's fine. I hope we're not lagging or anything. We shouldn't. I did test it.
Remember, we're delayed. I think we're a bit delayed.
Check that high ball.
It's a good take from Japan. Like I said, you can't underestimate them.
Mm-mm.
They've come a
Not
long
anymore.
way. Yeah, they've come a long way.
Especially after 2015.
Now, I was at a braai during that match when we played against Japan, and I was just quiet for the rest of the braai after that.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I've said it before, but Japan are throwing everything they can at us. This is a team that has scored so many tries in the World Cup so far, and they cannot break the line, well, they have broken the line, but they haven't gotten over the try line, and that's demoralizing for a team. The same thing happened against England. So defense wins championships. There's a lot of truth to that.
Hey, look. Hey, South African.
Yeah, pronounced like you would Sean Healy. Is it? Okay, you know what? I'm not going to try anymore because I'm just embarrassing myself.
Why did you not keep quiet?
Who Healy? I don't know that.
Firstly, I don't want to butcher this guy's name, and secondly, that's
Like, please don't take it personally. I get it a lot. People can't pronounce my surname, so I hope you don't take it personally.
McGaskill.
Yeah. The Irish prop. Okay. Yeah. Like Ian. Kian.
Oh, wow.
Kian.
Oh, wow.
Kian. We got it. Thank you, Ethan. Ethan, the legend. Okay.
You know why it's Kian, because you don't get a C in Afrikaans.
Yeah, can I just say you not threw me off. You not threw me off. The surname. It's just because you get a lot of Afrikaans names that are Tian or names like that. So the surname was Afrikaans. So I thought, okay, this must be an Afrikaans name I'm not familiar with. But yeah, Kian, it's awesome to have you. Thank you for joining.
For me, it's a unique name. I have not heard it before.
I like it. It's a cool name.
Look at that bounce.
Dear Lendi, many people wrote this guy off 2 years ago. Now, as Andre Pollard said, he was one of the most consistent performers at the World Cup.
Andre Pollard.
Yeah. He's so powerful.
That's why you must never go into a handoff or bounce with the ball in the carrying arm.
Yeah.
You must go opposite shoulder. Come on.
5 handling errors for us so far.
It's rugby 101. I'm saying it like I'm a former professional rugby player.
Feel free to drop your thoughts of the game so far. I think that obviously it feels less nerve-wracking now because we know the results, but South Africa have held their own, especially with 14 guys for 10 minutes. What? Francie.
Beast is getting to beast mode.
You can see Super Saiyan coming up here. He's like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So I've heard. I haven't met him personally, but we're at 23 minutes if you've just dropped in.
And I'd just like to say thank you to those who have stuck around. I know obviously for most people, either you have your dinner to eat with your family or you have schoolwork, I don't know, but you're busy. We understand. And for those who've already watched the game, don't want to watch again, that's fine. But for those who do stick around for the full 80 minutes, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you, guys. We've got quite a few cool questions that have just come in.
Oh, no.
let's just remember we must also just focus on the game.
I don't like this part of the game, though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't like
Japan
this. I don't
are
like
now
this. I don't
now
like this.
now Japan are getting momentum with the ball at the halfway line. They've made like 20 meters in a few seconds, but we holding our own there. That looked offside by Faf. Yeah, penalty for them. Okay, let's answer a question quick. Unrelated, what do you think of the team of the decade? We spoke about this before we went live, and we think, am I right? We think that overall there were a lot of good choices. We agree with a lot of the choices,
Yes.
and they probably were the right choices, but there were some weird decisions.
I'm just gonna say I feel like politics. It's on the border of politics, like how people with power are involved in this decision making. So that's why I don't want to go too in depth. But like I said, majority of the team of the decade I do agree with, but some of the players I feel they are better players. And also for me, I saw the females team of the decade, and I don't know about you, Austin, but I'm pretty sure England and New Zealand weren't the only two international teams to be playing.
Yeah, Ryan likes watching the female rugby. I'm joking.
Don't make me sound like a weirdo.
No, he's joking. No, he doesn't watch. But no, the centre combination we both thought was a good choice. Brian O'Driscoll, Martin Fair,
Yes.
the locks. So I'm quite a fan of Brody Retallick. I think he was the right decision. But Sam Whitelock,
Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Yeah,
Victor Matfield, come on.
Yeah, with a team of the decade, you can't just think about what an interception. Lucanio, you saved us there.
Oh,
Lucanio saved us there, ladies and gentlemen. So, with a team of the decade, you can't just think about a guy's form within 1 year or within 2 years. You have to
over
think
the
of
10
how
years.
good he was, not necessarily over the whole 10 years, but over an extended period of time.
Consistency.
Was he a consistent member of the team? Was he a consistent contributor to the team? So, I think Victor Matfield maybe would have deserved a bit more than Sam Whitelock, especially how he came out of retirement and went into the starting lineup. Bismarck, I was actually a little bit surprised Bismarck got it. Scrum off, I didn't agree with. I would rather pick Will Guinea over the Irish scrum off. But yeah, Brian Abana, it was cool seeing Brian Abana there. Beastie definitely deserved it.
Yeah, those are the two South Africans I feel definitely, they were obviously 2 out of the 3 in the team of the decade that definitely deserve to be there, 100%. But yeah.
Yeah, it's. I'm guessing the fans didn't vote. I'm guessing there was a team of selectors who did it. But World Rugby, we have seen they kind of favor New Zealand.
Because if the fans did vote, I would like to know where I could have voted so I could have casted my vote.
Yeah, but shame, Willie shoulder you saw there. You can see that pass was a weak one, and everyone was like, "Oh, Willie, your passer, raw!" wanting to clap him and smack him, but the guy had an injured shoulder. He actually probably should have come off, but yeah. Anyway, so team of the decade.
Remember, they didn't have a lot of back substitutes, so they didn't want to use it, and that's why, as you saw in Chasing the Sun, Rassie was saying, "Come on, Billy, please, not now."
Yes, Ethan Free-Dupree. Yes, that was also one I mentioned to Ryan before.
Yeah.
He also would have deserved it. Owen Franks, I think he deserved it. There's not that many amazing tight head props that really stand out to me. So Owen Franks, I think that's fair. Locks, we spoke about flanks. Who was it? Richie McCaw and Pocock.
Yeah. If there's any New Zealand supporters on here, they're probably gonna not like me. But like I said to Austin before this, I don't think Richie McCaw. Yes, he is an amazing player. I'm not going to take that away from him, and he was an amazing captain for many years for New Zealand. But there were some controversial moments in the rugby game that obviously weren't part of rugby. Like like I told Austin, high tackles, tip tackles, that's a part of rugby. It happens, excuse me. But like when it comes to bad sportsmanship as well, in the few years that Richie McCaw has done, like performed, whatever, it just, for me, it outweighs some of the good that he's done. So for me, that just puts a bad, like a sour thought in my head.
I personally think Richie probably deserved it. Pocock deserved it as well. But yeah, Richie was known as being a little bit dirty, but still quality player.
Especially those trips. He liked those trips.
Khaleesi interception. we're at 28 minutes now.
It helped us. It was
Uh,
better than a breakthrough. So
let's focus a little bit more on the game, and then we'll get to the rest of the questions. Just because this is a watching the match, but there will be a scrum or something soon. There we go. There's a scrum. So
you just
yeah,
had to jinx it, didn't you?
but I don't mind jinxing that. But yeah, so again, our defense, it's physical, it's strong, it's demoralizing. Japan haven't faced a defense like this in the World Cup so far. They're struggling to get through.
Yeah.
We are doing an amazing job. They can be very proud, making stupid mistakes like a
most teams are more focused on attack.
Yeah, but you know, they like strong defense flows over into attack because it gives you confidence. Okay, let's answer some of these questions.
The card.
Okay, what was your favorite moment of the World Cup besides winning? Obviously,
I would say, firstly, I know it's not part of the World Cup, but it's allowing us to go to number 1 in the world rankings, and also winning it plays a role in this next one is for us keeping our clean record of the finals, because we've not lost a final that we've been in.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we are so much better than New Zealand. But
it's been a long time since we were number 1. So yeah, that's awesome.
I would just say favorite part was getting to the final, because there were nerve-wracking matches, putting me on the edge of my seat. You know, just Japan game, like for most of the game, and then the semi-final as well. Just I would say winning that, heading on to the final, that was the best part for me.
I would have to say within the final, when England were on our line for so long and we just didn't let them through. Our defense was so strong. They could not score a try. Remember England, they destroyed New Zealand physically the week before. They really dominated. And we were able to keep them out. Seeing that defensive display was so inspiring. I think our rugby coach at school as well, he was very focused on defense. Coach Donnie. So I think he just instilled in me like an appreciation for good defense.
What's the next question?
Who do you think was the weakest player for SA?
During the I'm guessing this
during
the
let's say during the World Cup.
It's a difficult choice. It's very difficult because everybody played their crucial role, and obviously there was a very long and very difficult decision making process in choosing the World Cup squad.
Yeah, that's such a hard choice. In the larger squad, obviously you could say one of the reserves, like who didn't play much, like Warwick. Oh wait, he got injured. You could say one of the reserves, but let's try and think within the 23.
I would say Lewitt. My choice is Lewitt. Yes, he played an amazing game, but I do feel like he, compared to like the rest of the forwards and compared to Eben, he wasn't as strong as what he could be
in the lineouts, because he was very good in the lineouts.
Yeah, I'll give him that, but he did help us a lot in the lineouts. But just overall, I feel like he could have been a lot stronger, a lot more aggressive.
Fair point, I guess. I mean, we have to choose someone. I think everyone did brilliantly, but if I had to choose someone, I would say Frans Malherbe, because the tight head prop in general, they don't have a huge role beyond rucking and scrumming. And Francie got tired too quickly, and I think he's an excellent player. However, he probably was one of the less impactful players. But he did his role brilliantly, and he did a great player. But
see, that's what's difficult.
If I had to pick someone,
that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to choose, but it's if I had to pick someone.
It's quite funny that Japan played South Africa twice during the tournament. Remember, the first one was a warm-up match. Yeah. It wasn't actually part of the tournament. But yeah, it was good that I think that warm-up match helped a lot because we got used to the conditions.
And also, I think if I remember correctly from Chasing the Sun, that was Russie's main objective was, firstly, obviously, yes, get the players used to playing in Japan, but also have them beat Japan in their home ground to give them that mental edge.
Yes, absolutely.
Heading into the opening games.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely helped a lot. Surprised Tim Sweel didn't make the team of the decade. Absolute robbery. Tim Sweel's the reserve flyer for the Stormers. Okay. I feel like that's kind of a fair decision. Anyway, I do think he's a cool player. Though. I do
Each to
like
their own,
him.
I guess.
Yeah, Matt Field, I think is the goat lock, says Ethan. He went for about 4 years though. Yeah, I think the fact that he came out of retirement was excellent. Sam Whitelock was the biggest surprise for me as well, says Jordan. Yeah, definitely. Free to Priya too. Matthew says Bucky's Buerta. Bucky's probably wasn't as versatile as Matt Field, eh? What do you think,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Um, that's why he didn't. That's why he wasn't in my pick.
Yeah.
There's
Physical player, but not as versatile.
yeah. Once again, like it's great. Like the players they like we said, the players I had in the team of the decade were great choices, but there were a few that obviously didn't like sit right. But yeah,
That was an excellent steal by us, but I'm not sure what happened. Offside? That was a failed lineup by Japan. Again, strong defense. It's putting pressure on them guys. Okay. Because they know.
right. Let's see what happened. Yeah.
Don't know what happened there. Just a mess up. You must be, Jordan says, you must be the first ref not to like McCall. Yeah, because the refs always give him leeway. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they get away with it. Anyway, Ethan says Japan, Uruguay, and Farrell's face in the ground after being left spinning by Colby. I'm guessing you're saying those were your favorite moments, Ethan. Yeah, those were cool moments. And then Matthew says,
I think he's answering the weakest player. I think that's what he's answering.
No, but he said Japan, Uruguay.
No, but I'm looking at Ethan's next response.
Oh, were you saying he's the weakest player? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, suppose so. But I was trying to think of in the 22. Matthew Smith's cross kick for Japan.
Oh,
Vili puts his body on the line.
I think it came off his shoulder.
Japan get nowhere. Again, nothing personal to Japan. I'm just commentating on the game. Matthew Smith says, "Do you think Herschel Yankees has potential?" Absolutely,
100%.
100%. He's a great player.
Like I said, with that cross kick, they read the game properly there. They saw that South Africa was pushing up, and they read it. So the guy decided, okay, let me cross kick and let's get this overlap. Because a lot of the defensive players came up, not too early, but they all came up at the same time, wanting to put pressure, not thinking or anticipating that the kick was going to happen.
Yeah, that's one of the ways to beat our rush defense, doing moves like that. But you have to execute it well, and it doesn't always work, especially if the box start predicting it and know that they want to do it, which they probably did there.
That's good read. Ball's out.
See that they're really struggling at Japan because they've tried many options now, guys. They don't want to kick it away because if we get, we're just going to put them back in their half. We're just going to kick it back there. So now they're trying to play and they're trying to find some gaps, but as we just saw there, our defense is too strong and is forcing errors. What options do Japan actually have now?
It's just the attack, really. I don't think their defense, especially.
Ooh, that could have been a try there. But the hard pass.
When we get into our wings, Japan doesn't, like, yes, they have a few fast players, but like their defense isn't set up for what we have in store with our attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I feel like Japan must just stick to their game plan because it does work, but obviously you get teams who will be better than you in some games.
Yeah.
And outplay you, but yeah.
It's what I don't like about Japan. I'll say one thing I don't like about Japan. Some people will debate me on this. I really don't like the foreign-born players playing for other national teams. I really don't like it. I understand clubs completely because the money, everything. But when you have a South African or New Zealander who started his professional career in their home country and then they got a contract and only played 3 years in Scotland or Japan, that's not a representation of the nation's talent. I understand those players want to play international rugby, and I feel that for the players, but I get angry at the national teams because they should strive to represent their country's talent, and I feel it's ruining the game.
But remember, if certain players were to move to a country and live there, became citizens, legal citizens, but they stayed there for a few years, and then whilst they played club rugby in those, say, 5 years, and then they were scouted, and then for me, it's obviously we don't like it because now, in a sense, you're using our talent, you're not using your own homegrown talent. But in a sense, it's fair play to them. They thinking ahead. But yes, for me, I feel like it is still fair because the guy he is a citizen. As long as they, for me, as long as they are a legal citizen, and not just staying there for a few years, like maybe 2 years, and okay, we'll come play for our international team.
Well, that is actually the rule at the moment. 3 years, if you play in a country, you don't even need citizenship, and you can play for the national team.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
So, yeah, I understand the players want to play international rugby. I know someone from school who plays for the German national team, and I understand. I do, but I still think the coaches and the management staff should actually strive more to represent their own country's talent. But yeah, it's a big debate. But I understand your point. I really do.
The reason I think, especially for Japan and like Germany, what they allow is because they're weaker teams. Maybe I don't know. So they rely on the not necessarily outsourcing, but the
Foreign
talent, yeah, the foreign talent. So they rely a lot on that, and then obviously the money's good. So
yeah. Anyway, it's just sort of like club rugby is becoming international rugby. They're like blending into one now, and I just wonder like what's it going to be in 20 years from now. Anyway, that's a big debate, but there's valid arguments for both sides.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Yeah, so we at 35 minutes, 27 seconds. Japan are still struggling to get past. They're struggling to get deep into our half again, and I think they're frustrated. They're running out of options.
And see, that's what a good defensive strategy also helps with, because you keep denying access to your oppositions, and they'll get frustrated and end up making mistakes because all they want to do is just get through and score a try.
Yeah.
So either you push them very quickly like South Africa does, you put them under pressure, and then they want to get rid of the ball very quickly, but they don't think what they're doing, so they get rid of it too quickly. Either forward pass knock-ons, or throw it into thin air, or throw it out past the touchline, or even we intercept it because they weren't looking where they passed.
Yeah.
But you know how we were taught in high school? No 50-50s.
No 50-50s. Yeah, well. Okay. Kian says Tim Sweel way better than Willemse. At the moment, probably, but a lot of people are saying Willemse is terrible just because he's in bad form. That guy's got talent, Willemse. Don't forget what he did in 2018 for the Boks. He'll come back. I think he will. What do you think?
I think it's still early years. He's still young, so
yeah,
he still has.
He's 22.
Yeah, he still has his years to actually showcase his talent.
Ethan says LaRue and my pimps got absolutely abused in that Japan game. Barnes had an absolute stinker. As a ref, what do you think of that Dialendi try? No try.
I can't remember it. I think that's the one where they say, what is it when the ref was saying it's a double movement.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think it'll be cool if we see it again.
Yeah, I'll speak on it when we get to it.
Yeah, we know which one you're talking about. So he got tackled and then he stood up and went over.
I will.
And he said, yeah.
I will refer back to this question when we get to it, so we can have like physical footage.
Yeah.
And not just going off muscle memory.
By abused, do you mean physically abused or by the ref? Yeah.
I think he's meaning with the tackles and the way they were just hounded.
LaRue maybe a bit. His shoulder may be playing a part, but Mapimpi, yeah, as well. But Mapimpi has also given a lot to them. He's had a lot of hard runs and some hard tackles. So, but yeah, it's been tough on them, I suppose. But I think in the latter part of the second half, it changes. Excellent maul. We're at 37 minutes now. Excellent maul by the Boks. That 50-meter maul hasn't come yet. Can't wait for that. That looked offside. What do you think, Ryan? Now at this moment you're thinking, Philly, Nia man. Come no man, Philly. Okay. LaRue, okay, we're at the rugby centre. It's up to 5 now. The SA guy who played 10 for Scotland this weekend is the last of the 3-year rule. Oh, is it? It's up. Oh, is it 5 years now? Okay, that's excellent. See, that's why the rugby centre is an awesome place to.
Because I think they realised.
Because he knows the news. Yeah, so 5 years. That's a little bit better. I don't think it solves the problem, but it's maybe it helps it a bit. Matthew Smith, a Namibian won us the World Cup in 2007. What? So I
Yeah.
think it's okay for no. Okay, well, Matthew, not to. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not entirely sure who you're talking about. But remember that there's a difference between the guy moving over at a young age. That I understand. Like Beast, for example. I'm just going to speak about Beast because I know his circumstances. Beast moved to South Africa when he was just out of school. He was like 19 years old. So his whole professional career was in South Africa, right? So that I agree with. If a South African goes to Scotland and his first professional game is in Scotland, then I don't think it's a problem. But if a player starts, let's take CJ Stander for example. CJ Stander started at the Bulls. He was playing good rugby, and he's actually quite a lenient example. He was playing good rugby, and then um, the international sides took him away. Ireland took him away. I mean, he started playing for Munster. With a guy like him, the South African rugby culture and the South African rugby coaches bred that player. They helped turn that player into what he is. Nothing to take away from CJ Stander. Obviously, he did most of it by himself, and he has that determination by himself. But I just think that it's also about where that player was produced, because a guy like Beast was produced in South Africa. We nurtured him into the player he is. But again, just my thoughts. I'm by no means an expert. I'm just an average guy. This is what I think. And
Don't sell yourself short. You're not average.
I'm just, it's just my opinion. I think debates are cool, and I enjoy interacting in these debates. So thanks for your opinion, Matthew. I would love to know which Namibian you're talking about, though.
Oof, that pressure though.
Yeah, now that was a good tackle. A bit of enthusiasm by Japan, eh? Now at the 40-minute mark, penalty for us, I think.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Going for the line out. Don't you think he should have went for the three, yeah? Or it's a bit of a hard angle, yeah. Right against the line.
It's 50 meters in the corner. Yeah.
Okay. You might have gone it, but it is tough. Like,
The thing is, it's difficult. I don't know. For me, I feel like when you're directly in front of the poles, it's a more difficult kick. Just the main reason being the pressure's on you to not miss because you're in front of the poles. Whereas when you come from the corners, people don't necessarily expect you to make it because it's a difficult kick. So therefore,
Yeah.
there's less pressure on you.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's hard enough doing a 50-meter penalty, but from the corner.
It's coming from experience.
We've got a Lacka more now.
Peter Steph saying, "Hurry up, guys! I have a poop coming." Donkey Damien.
Lost me. Lost. Yeah, Moore's on point there. If they're not physically. We'll respond to your comments now, guys.
No,
we just
at halftime we'll. This is what they're talking about.
You're up, buddy. Talk us through it, Ryan.
Wait, is it the only footage? Or
No, they'll show a replay.
Yeah, as what I said, I'm pretty sure they showed a replay. And I'll tell you why it wasn't a try.
Let's see. Yeah.
So he gets tackled, and he gets taken to the ground. And right there, he's taken to the ground. So he wasn't. It wasn't like it was a slip. The guy slipped off of him from the tackle. So because he was taken to the ground, both knees hit the ground. It wasn't one of those. Oh, he slipped. I'm on my hands crawling. His knees hit the ground. So basically, because if you think about it, remember when you get held up, the first thing you want to do is put your knees on the ground, so it's called as a tackle. So this guy tackles him, goes to the ground, holds onto him as his knees hit the ground. So it is a confirmed tackle. So that's when you have to release the ball.
Yeah.
And then you can pick it up and then continue. Whereas now that is the correct decision. Yes, he slipped out of it, but he was on the ground.
It looked like he was sort of just holding his foot on the ground as the tackle.
Like obviously in this, the momentum, like you wouldn't think that he was tackled properly, but because of him slipping out of the tackle. But unfortunately, it is a tackle according to the rules and the laws. So the best thing is for him to release.
I have a question for you. Do you think he should have made that decision on the field like he did, or do you think he should have asked the TMO for a second opinion, or do you agree with him backing himself?
I agree with him because in this type of match, especially this situation, as a referee in any type of match, you need to be confident in your decisions. You need to sell your decisions in a sense so that the players don't doubt you and say, oh, you don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing. You don't ref properly. Because if you doubt
Yeah.
yourself, the players are going to be like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So he firstly he was in the correct position, so he could see what was happening, and then again he was confident in his decision, so he stuck by it. And instead of going, okay, let me award the try and then come back and let's see, he knew straight away, okay, no, that was a double movement. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sri Lanka, go Sri Lanka, yeah.
Oh, did they even play rugby?
So yeah, I think I agree with you. I think a lot of refs, a big decision will be made, and they're like, Barnes, what do you think? Go to the TMO. What do you think? They ask the TMO for everything, and it's overused. Like, if they have a good view of what happened, they should make the decision right there.
And also, what a lot of players don't, or people might not know, is they watch the game and you get very into the game, so you don't think what the ref, don't think about them, or firstly the emotions they're going through, or what the environment they're in. So basically, in this type of match, when a match is televised, you have your earpiece, and you have your TMO, and you have your linesman,
Yeah.
and they all have earpieces, and there's constant talking from the linesman to the ref, from the TMO sometimes as well. So the TMO will be like, listen here, because the TMO is also watching like previous, like maybe 5 seconds delayed, and you'll be like, listen here, it looks like to be foul play. Or the linesman will say, listen here, it looks like to be foul play back here. So obviously there are linesmen also talking to them at the same time. So if he feels confident in his decision, firstly to be like, it's a double movement, and he hears confirmation from the linesman, then he's like, okay, well, then it definitely is.
Yeah.
But whereas, he could have, at the same time, the linesman could be like, no, like not say anything about the double movement, but he feels like it is double movement, and because he's the ref on the field, it's his final decision.
Yeah. Do you think we'll win the next World Cup? Yeah, I think we have a very good chance, because there's continuity, because the assistant coach became the head coach, because Russi's still involved. I think we have a very good chance.
That's fine. We must just bring Russi 18 months before the World Cup again, and then just do everything all over again.
Yeah.
But they're going to be doing this. They're going to be doing the draw soon, eh? For the World Cup.
Absolutely. Yeah, that will be interesting. Okay. Jordan says that we must try and make our answers a bit shorter because we're a bit behind in the comments. There was an interview with the SA-born French international. I'm guessing you're talking about Peter de Villiers, with him giving his side of the debate. I think it was on the SA Rugby pod on YouTube. Might be a good watch. Think Beast as well. Okay, I'll look into it. Thank you. That's interesting. Oh, see, that's the one I was talking about. Now that could have been a red card. That was around the neck. Mampimpi was in the air. This guy, Barnes, this bra, he does nothing. He doesn't even go to the TMO. So that evened out the Beast decision. In fact, we were disadvantaged. That's around the neck. Come on, at least a penalty. Even if it's accidental, it's still dangerous. That's the rule. What do you think? What do you say, Ryan?
Okay, well,
in short, what would you say?
I'm not at an international level, so I don't know what's going through this referee's head. Obviously, he has years of experience, and like obviously, Khaleesi's talking to him now, like why isn't this not a penalty? But for me, like you said, even if it is accidental, I would consider a yellow card. I'll go TMO and consider a yellow card because it was around the neck.
At least the penalty, right?
Yes, he was going. The thing is, I think because that was a penalty, but he's coming back for the original penalty, so that's why it cancels out that penalty. But I would go TMO just to double check that yes, he was going for the ball, but because it's around the neck, I would be considering.
You can see Rusty's angry there. Yeah, he's like whispering something to Jacques. He looks angry.
But see, this is what I don't get. The penalties for us, so I don't know why we weren't given that penalty. Like for me, I feel like that might have been a penalty.
I think he should have at least looked at the TMO for that one.
Yes. Then again, like I said, it's quarterfinals. A lot going through the ref.
Let's just answer this. Tumelo, how's it, man? Thanks so much for joining us. So we are, we're just waiting for the time to pop up now on the YouTube video. We're at 1 hour 11 minutes on the YouTube video. On the match time, it's 43 minutes, just after half time. We've got a penalty now. Let's see. Look, it's been a very interesting game.
That's what Ethan was referring to when he said abused. He meant those illegal.
Sorry, abused. I mean, I felt illegally taken out. Oh yeah.
And like that's what he was also referring to. That
illegal
takeout now.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with you there, Ethan. Jordan, I was in London watching this game. What? 5-3
Yeah.
at halftime. The chat from the English crowd was hectic. Good to get the last laugh a couple weeks later. I completely agree with you. They were too cocky going into
But
the
I have
final.
a question for Jordan though. Were you still in the London area or like at a pub watching the final with fellow English like supporters? Because that must have been a scene for him.
Yeah. Ooh, imagine. Okay, so we've just gone 3 points. That's a bit of fresh air, but they can still score a try. With a conversion, they will be ahead.
The
Japan.
box look a bit tired here. They're all lying down taking a nap.
Yeah. I see Malcolm's on. I don't know how long he's been on for. We've been talking a lot. Uh,
Ooh,
nice by
that's
my
a good
peeps.
read. That's a good read.
Good read.
We see a lot of time players they run up too quickly to the guy catching the ball, and then that's what ends up in them taking them out in the air.
Yeah.
So you always have to sort of either time you're running or slow down just before the tackle. Ooh,
Okay.
a lot of chaos there.
We're getting some good phases going now. I don't know what we were doing there,
Ooh,
trying to get.
oh,
I don't know. What was it? Luet. He passed the ball from
Yeah.
the ruck there. Faf was right behind him. I don't know if he was trying to get fast ball going, but that kind of.
Or maybe he didn't see Faf there.
Yeah, maybe.
Remember, like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Come
understand.
on. I think that was Delaney that did that. That was a dumb move to push a player like that.
See, now we're reading their chips. We're predicting it.
There's also in games like this, you can't afford to lose players. Like yes, in the beginning, we were lucky that it was just in the beginning that we were lost beast. But like in close games like this, you can't afford to have players sent off. Especially when it's crucial players, like either your props, when you have to sub somebody off to get in your reserve prop to come on.
Absolutely. Set pieces. You need to get those set pieces. Okay, so good box kick just outside the 22. That's what you want. Yo, my peeps just went flying there.
What happened there?
He just went into shot like.
No, he was looking at the linesman like, bro, did you not see that?
Oh,
that's also another difficult thing. I also experienced being a linesman. It's difficult when we don't see everything, but then we also do get a lot of critique from the crowds and the audience, asking us why we do not see what they see.
Yeah. I see that was a forward pass by Billy. Yeah, he looks uncomfortable. He looks awkward. It must be the shoulder, but that did look a bit forward.
He's confused.
That was an excellent steal by Dialendi back there. Nice by Sia. You can see how physical we are.
See, that's a good read.
Good steal. We deliberately following through with the hits where just as their players pass the ball, we follow through with the hit, which is legal because it's like directly after the pass.
Just look at this. He's a beast on his own, just carrying the ball in one hand like it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. Like when he first started off, I didn't think he was that tall. And then when I saw him, I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's.
It's like when you see the headshots in the squad lineup normally, you don't see how tall they actually are.
Yeah. Jordan says, yeah, I was still there for the final. They all know about 3M. They all know about 3M in that it was not going to be another New Zealand walkover. Okay.
What?
I think what he means is they were actually hesitant about us and they didn't think that we would be as easy as the All Blacks were in that game. So, I don't know. I think some of them did, but maybe not all of them, yeah. I know there were quite a few cocky journalists, but that you can't judge all the fans just by a few comments of a few guys. The English crowd all knew 3 minutes. Okay.
I was a bit confused what he meant by 3M.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense.
As the game started, you could see it wasn't going to be a walkover. Yeah. We went in there with intensity. Lacquer penalty for us. Who was that? Beastie. Can I just make a comment about Beastie? This guy, not too long before the World Cup, a lot of people were writing him off and saying, he's past his prime, he's not that good anymore. This guy made a massive comeback. He came back into the World Cup team, the Springbok team, and he started playing some of the best rugby of his life. His scrumming game was amazing. One of the best comebacks, I think, of the modern era in the Springboks. He also was injured for quite a while a few years ago. Great player. So yeah, now we're going to get another 3 points here. Uh, it's really nice watching this game again. We must definitely do more. Um, more rewatches, eh?
I'm down.
Yeah, it'll be
It
cool.
seems that was also like answering these questions as well. Like,
Yeah, it's cool. I
and
think,
there's the Andre Pollard we know and love.
yeah, someone suggested that we do the British and Irish Lions tour. 2009, the second game is available on YouTube on, I think, the Rugby Pass channel. So that could be a cool game to watch as well. And the 2015 quarterfinal. School Blazers. That looks like Paul Jim, maybe?
It's hard to say. I didn't see the badge.
Are you hungry? There's snacks there if you want. So yeah, the Box game plan at this point. So they're out of the 7 point margin. So they probably are going to continue trying to keep Japan in their half. There's no reason to play from their own half. If I was the Springboks, and they're probably doing this anyway, but I would think let's kick to the Japanese because they're not able to do anything with the ball. We hurting them physically. We're making them tired. Let's keep giving them the ball in their half and let's keep hitting them. It's working. Beastie. Ethan says people were saying the English were going to bully us even at our worst. I don't recall teams bullying us. It made me laugh. Yeah, no one bullied us at the World Cup. We were
Oh,
the
good
more physical
turnover.
team out of all the games we played. Against New Zealand, although the ref was really bad, we probably weren't the better team on the day, but we were still probably more physical.
Let's see here. We like to hold on to the ball and be more physical, whereas Japan, I feel like they get very pressured. They feel very pressured and get uh, like closed up. So then they try to chuck the ball away very quickly, so they
Yeah.
don't have to be the one to get the tackle
Yes.
from South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I've said it before, but what do Japan actually do at this point? Because they can't kick, because we're just going to kick it back. They're not able to create anything. Chisholm Kobe's been pretty quiet this match, eh? But I guess we haven't had that much of the ball. Yeah, we're going to now bring out the attack. Let's get some tries, boys.
Which I think it was Japan's number 10 that didn't like was very weak against us. Like
He's quite a small
he
guy.
was soft.
Yeah.
And that's why Rassi wanted to like target him a lot when he got
That's
the
what
ball.
Peter Steff's role was, eh? They're saying chasing the sun, yeah. Yeah, Leachy, okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Leach. I don't know. He just seems
Cocky.
yeah. But Lucani was good with the boot, eh? He can do some decent chips. We all know from the final, but he just did another brilliant one now. Let's read some comments here. The rugby centre. So we talked about this before. SA coming to the Northern Hemisphere is not happening now. For now, anyway. Yeah, at least for 10 years, so they say. But at the same time, Super Rugby was an agreement until I think 2023, and it was cancelled. So anyway, it won't happen for a few years at least. How do you feel about your club teams playing in one hemisphere and your national one in the other, Ryan? Okay, wait, I'll answer first. So I don't think there's a problem with it. I think our national teams will benefit financially. Our provincial teams, sorry, our domestic teams. I think it will be better for player welfare. The time zones will be better. I don't know how it's going to work because isn't the Pro 14 on at the same time as the Rugby Championship? So I don't know how that's going to work. So there's definitely pros and cons, but I think overall it's good for now. And I'm glad that I'm so glad we're staying in the Rugby Championship for now. If we didn't join the Pro 14, someone else would have. So I'm glad we took the opportunity.
But I don't think the cheaters should have been taken out of the Pro 14.
Yeah, that's very unfair.
Because they've been doing well, and they've also been proving it now as well. So I feel like they should have used like whichever was the weakest teams in now in the Currie Cup and the Super Rugby Unlocked. out of those combined tournaments, I feel like the weakest teams, they should not join the Pro 14.
Yeah, a relegation
like,
system.
Because
Yeah,
like once again, the cheaters, they get kicked out of Super Rugby. So now they go, okay, fine, we'll go on our own mission. We go join the Pro 14. Now they get kicked out of that too, and it's like really
unfair. No, it's unfair. Yeah, I
I
really.
feel for them.
It's just not ethical. SA Rugby should follow
Well,
the
yeah,
principle of it, and yeah. Hopefully the cheaters can find a good competition to slot into. We attacked in our defense. It is a weapon, yeah, says Ethan. Yeah, it was an incredible weapon.
but yeah, going back to the rugby center, the equation, I feel like it's also it's a good exposure for our teams.
Yeah,
because like you said, financially as well, and also getting used to different talent as well.
absolutely. I think it's good overall. But
No more waking up on Fridays.
yeah, that sucks. Like waking up on a Saturday morning, there's rugby on, but it's okay. Um, it's okay. Yeah, here comes the bomb squad.
Yep.
The bomb squad at 53 minutes. Um, they were a huge weapon for this World Cup. And then after the World Cup, people are like, I'm thinking that we should get rid of the 8 players on the bench rule.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Just because it just shows the sort of culture in World Rugby. When New Zealand were dominating World Rugby, no one said anything in their game plan should be changed. Like, oh, we should limit the amount of offloads, or there was nothing like that. I'm over exaggerating, but the point is, now suddenly we the best, and then people are trying to change the rules.
They're not liking the way we used it to our advantage. Everybody has the same advantage. It's not like we have more substitutes than other teams.
Yeah,
everybody has the same amount.
Everyone has the same amount. Exactly, Ryan. It's not like we cheating.
Rossi just used it better. That's all.
Oh, and it's depth. We created better depth than a lot of other teams in the forward pack.
And also, now that they've seen what we do, nothing stopping them from using the same strategy either.
Yeah, but I think not all teams are able to get so many physical guys in a 23-man team. Was that Villy? Oh, he's a warrior, hey? Do you think Saffers that play for other countries are more motivated when they play against the Box or less so? That's so hard to tell. I don't feel I can actually answer that because I have no idea what that's like. I can't even imagine.
Well, for me, I would say if they've played for the Springboks and now they play for a different team,
they can't. I think that's a rule.
Is it?
Yeah, if you start playing for a national team, you can't play for another. But as you're saying,
but even domestic, the Super Rugby. So they say now they played for the Stormers or the Cheetahs or whatever. But now, so now they used to play because remember the Boks get chosen from those teams.
Yeah.
So now they're used to playing against those guys, and now you used to playing against them, sure. And now you go play against them in international. Then it's in a sense it's like a nice reunion and different thing. But I think it's also their mindset isn't really like, oh, I'm playing against my friend or whatever. I'm playing for my country. That's what their mindset is going through. I'm here to play this match, and yes, afterwards they can have a little chat, like they always do. Yeah. Whereas for me, like I said, it's difficult because we haven't been in their situation. But for me, if they haven't ever played for a South African team, I don't feel like it's anything to them.
Yeah. But if they grew up in the country, maybe a little bit. But I think most players don't actually think about that much. I think most professional rugby players just focus on their own game, focus on what's on the field, and they actually maybe don't think about that too much. Ethan, we just have the best tools to make the game plan work. Yeah. Jordan, I think South African school rugby is known around the world as being really high quality. As someone who has refereed it, can you tell us what makes it so great? Jordan, you're giving Ryan some nice questions. Awesome. I love it.
It's just the way the coaching staff, it's how they handle their teams, how they handle themselves as well. It's the push they put behind the boys as well, making it just a team effort, not just on the field and at practice, also off the field during school time as well, making sure the boys they are a close family, so that you stay close together, so that you have that bond, that special bond, and that's what also creates that good quality rugby on the field, because when you have that close bond and that special bond, there's also that trust that comes with it.
Yeah.
So you trust the guy knowing that he has your back. Like, if you're going to a tackle, he'll be there to support you. And same thing with the passes, everything. It's great watching, especially like I referee some of my where I used to go to high school. I referee some of their games now and then, and seeing how the coaches, even the opposition, seeing how the coaches like coach their team as well. It's amazing to see how they treat the boys from a young age as well. Giving them that motivation of like showing them and nurturing their love for rugby. To try and give them the best opportunity to go further.
Yeah, I think you see, South Africa is actually one of the few countries in the world where rugby is the biggest sport. In most of the big rugby nations, it's like the second or third sport. So, like England, obviously, football is the biggest. France, football is the biggest. Most of those countries, football is the biggest. Australia, rugby union isn't. New Zealand and us are probably like the only two. Maybe there's one or two others like Fiji, those kind of countries. But, ooh, 57 minutes. Pollard just missed it, unlike him, but it's okay. It happens. He's still a great kicker. But yeah, there's a lot of emotion behind rugby in South Africa. So, like, we actually went to a school which is considered a bigger hockey school, but everyone watched the rugby. So, if the first team rugby boys were playing at the same time as the first team hockey boys, everyone watched the rugby. There's just a lot of emotion and passion around the game in South Africa, and I think that motivates the players a lot. As Ryan said, the coaching is amazing in South Africa. The coaching is done very well. I think that helps a lot. Rugby is very tough here, which really toughens up the players. We quickly learn to play at a higher level because of that. And it's just a lot of competition. There's a lot of rugby players in South Africa, which creates a lot of competition. And I think that's what boosts the teams.
And also for me, it's the coaches create that hunger for like not just victory, but wanting to play rugby, wanting to like not be physical, but in a good way, like where you want to feel that tackle, you want to feel good about tackling this guy, like nailing him into the ground and stealing the ball or pushing your opponents over in a scrum, stealing the line and everything. They create that environment where when that happens, there's that whole like camaraderie, that everybody's just like, yeah, especially the crowd when they go wild as well. And when your teammates, they come slap you on the back, give you high fives, scrub your head,
exactly.
Just the support from everybody.
There's a great rugby culture. Absolutely.
It boosts you and motivates you to continue playing.
So now we're going into the last quarter of the game. Still 11-3. It's still close, If you're watching this game live, or when we were watching it live, you're still on the edge of your seat. You're still nervous. You want to see the Boks get ahead more. We just missed a penalty a few minutes ago. You don't know what's going to happen.
It's times when like Andre, when he misses a penalty, it sort of makes South Africans nervous. Like I did feel a bit nervous, but like it's less points that we are ahead now. So it just takes a quick converted try and a penalty kick, and then they're ahead.
Yeah.
Then it's us on our back feet trying to push back and score points, and especially in the last quarter. Then it's when your players are a bit more tired than they were in the beginning. Then it's just everything just might unfold and it just becomes so much more.
Luckily, we've got the bomb squad on now, which is still quite fresh. Aiden says, "Do you boys play rugby?" So we both played in high school.
And primary school.
Yeah. So you stopped for a bit, for a few years. So I played for 12 years from grade 1 to grade 12. Ryan started in grade 1, but then he stopped.
I stopped when I got to high school. I wanted to try other sports just to see what it was, to see, what I could do, whatever.
Yes,
but then my true passion lied with rugby, and I came back to rugby.
Yeah, you came back in grade 11. Yeah. So
end of grade 10.
Yeah. So you can explain now your reasons, but I decided to stop playing rugby after school because basically I had the choice to continue with rugby, play rugby, or start focusing on other things. And luckily, I chose the latter. I chose to focus on some other things I wanted to do. I just felt that my playing days, I was satisfied with them, and I was just happy with what I'd done in rugby. And luckily, I was able to get involved in the sport in other ways. I coached a bit of rugby. Ryan's a ref now. And I haven't played since high school. And obviously this doing Bok memes is he went into him with his shoulder, Billy LaRue. That actually could have been a penalty, but But yeah, so very lucky to still be involved through this platform. Ryan, you haven't played either, hey?
The last time I played was, I think it was 2018.
Old boys
Yeah,
game.
old boys game.
Old boys game. Yeah.
That was the last time. The only reason why I played that is because I unfortunately sustained a very horrific knee injury
Yeah,
in my
I
matric
remember that.
year, halfway through the season. I tore my ACL, MCL, and meniscus, but it almost messed up my whole knee. They had to reconstruct all those tendons and ligaments. So yeah, and they had to reconstruct the cartilage and everything. So I was off for the rest. I think this was in end of July it happened. So I was off from then until even in December I was still using my brace.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a tough time, and the reason why I played the main reason why I played Old Boys is because I didn't have that closure of like completing my season for my high school. So I decided, let me just play Old Boys, let me play one last game. As much as I'd still love to go play rugby. If that it's only Old Boys, because I feel like I'm out of my body physically is not in that same position as it is like being used to the physicality at club rugby level and like varsity level. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'll get a lot more injuries, and maybe not. You never know. But that's why I'd much rather just play old boy games because it's more fun. Everybody gets a lot like they are tired so much.
Yeah.
Everybody just so quickly. First 15 minutes of the game, they're all tired. But yeah, that's the main reason, and that's also the main reason why I became a ref is because
Yeah.
I love the sport so much. I couldn't just walk away from it. I just needed to stay involved, and the only other way to be on the field other than being a coach is to be a referee.
Exactly. Yeah. So luckily, we've both been able to find other ways to stay involved in the sport. So yeah, we luckily have a penalty now. Right in front of the poles. This is one we should get. There's only 18 minutes left, guys. It's still a close game. But I think most South Africans would feel a bit more comfortable at this point because you can see we actually are dominating the game now. The scoreboard isn't really reflecting it, but the second half has been ours. Good kick, just in, but good kick. We're at 63 minutes. So yeah, it's looking better for us. We're dominating, I think, and we're going to see things are going to start crumbling now for the Japanese. The rugby center, they'll have to drag me off the pitch. Yeah. So you obviously still play. That's awesome. Respect. That's cool. You can still play. Direct. Ooh. This is where you got that injury,
Yeah.
So unfortunate. And it was a bad injury, In chasing the sun, it was actually a pretty bad injury, but he did recover quickly. He flipped that guy, like attitude adjustment. I actually think, yeah, I posted a meme after the game.
He just
And his name is John Cena. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's the
He's a
whole
tough
landing
guy.
on the ankle and the pulling of the scrum cap is like your body's like almost like a whiplash effect. You go forward and then all of a sudden you're getting pulled back.
Yeah. Hey, nah. And we were worried. I remember after the game for a few days, I kept Googling like Chess and Colby injury, Chess and Colby injury. Please, is he not injured for long? And luckily we had him in the final. But of course he did well in the semi-final. I held his own. Ethan says, I think this was the fittest group of Boks I've seen in a long time. Normally a relative weakness in the World Cup. It was a strength. Yeah, there definitely have been patches where the Springboks have been unfit, but this World Cup that wasn't a problem. The conditioning was excellent. They brought in that Irish guy, Rusty's Warriors. They brought in that Irish guy, and yeah, they did an excellent job. They really were fit. On Instagram, we said there were about 1,500 people that said they would probably come to this. We only have 6 viewers at the moment, but that doesn't matter. It's awesome. It's nice that we even have one. We'd probably do this alone anyway. Still watch the game. So,
like I said, it's nice for those who are still here. Like
yeah,
like Ethan, like the rugby center and Jordan. we thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, not everybody's as excited and that passionate like being here. Maybe because maybe not rugby's not their first sport that they would choose to watch, which is fine. But that's why we just say just pop by for a few minutes if you want to just have a little chat. And that's why we also like this interaction where you guys ask us questions, we answer, we have a chat with you, we have a laugh. Yeah, it's nice. It's different.
I think a lot of people have actually stopped by just for a bit, but haven't stayed on.
But like, remember, we haven't been keeping tabs on the viewers as well. So.
No, we haven't. Yeah, but like I wouldn't. Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, this is the more. This is the more. We had 64 minutes. This is just incredible. Japan at this point,
once you have momentum, it's over.
They sore, they bruised, they're tired, they're demotivated, they can't break our line. They've had so much of the ball, and now they've got this more.
Yeah.
They're
desperate.
Yeah, excellent, brilliant offload. Malcolm Marks, impact player, brilliant try, eh? Gorgeous. Oh, one of the most memorable mauls ever in rugby, I think. Incredible. Just too physical. But Japan had heart. They really fought hard, and they did everything they possibly could to stay in this game, and they kept trying, but it's really hard for them to match us physically.
Great pass, though.
Great pass.
Yeah. But he could have decided to hold on to it,
Yeah.
That's also like, or he could have tried to go into the tackle, and his arms would have been trapped and not being able to like load it off. But
yeah. Sune says insane. It was an insane try. Loved it. Fantastic. Excellent team try. That's the ultimate team try one day. You've got the whole forward pack, then you've got the offload to the scrum off. Amazing. The backs just had a stroll down the field. Ethan, feel sorry for the Japanese guy who gets handed off at the end. I would just be like, coach, sub me, please. Yeah. that is, yeah, demoralizing probably.
Not awkward silence at all.
I'm thinking now. I'm always trying to think what's going through the Springboks' minds, like what their next strategy is now.
Ooh. Was it a knock on into touch?
I would say that stays the same. They would still try and keep them in their half.
See, that's one thing, like especially that Rossi, wanted to drill into the players is no matter if you're leading by 50 points or 2 points, you just play like you still know like the game isn't over because anything can happen.
Yeah.
Just it takes 2 slips, through, and then there's extra 14 points, boom, and
yeah,
then they're right on your tail again, and they still have enough time to score extra points,
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good point. You have to encourage your players to give 100% all the way until the end. But the fact that we've got such a good bench that comes on, those guys are just coming on in the second half. They want to play as much as they can, as hard as they can for their team, their country. Sune says you should do more streams, bro. Yeah, I definitely want. I definitely want to.
Will we see the rest of the World Cup? Maybe we see a stream of the semi-final and final, huh?
Well, unfortunately, we can only use games that are on YouTube so that everyone can watch with us. So the semi-final and final isn't on YouTube, but there's a lot of other games we can watch. We can watch.
We go back into time as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. So the 2009 Lions Tour is one I want to do. And you know what? We can even watch like old provincial games or even old games that don't consist of the Springboks. That's also fine. But I think we can focus on the Springbok games for now, quite a few of them. But yeah, I want to do one maybe in 2 weeks again or so. Hopefully Ryan can join again. Will be cool.
But I have a question for them because you mentioned the Lions Tour. So for you that are still here and watching, are any of you guys going to the British and Irish Lions Tour next year? To any of the matches, whether it be in Joburg or
or wherever, yeah,
anywhere in South Africa, are any of you guys going to any of the matches?
I had no tickets. I applied, didn't get any. This guy had an extra Stormers ticket, and he was able to get one for me. So now we're going to the Stormers game. I'm so happy. Um, yeah, because I really wanted to go to the Springbok game, and I didn't get. But this is fine. I'm happy.
Yeah, I was lucky, very lucky to get tickets to both matches.
Yeah,
The
he
test.
got for the Bok game and for the
Yeah, I
Stormers game.
applied for the Stormers game just as a reserve, just in case I didn't make the box.
Can we just watch this?
Yeah.
This is a big moment. But yeah, you were clever doing the coin toss. So turnover, yeah, they had a chance to change the momentum of the game now. Brilliant turnover by us. That completely demoralizes the Japanese again. Um,
But also they know what's coming next, so that you only have one move when you're this close to your try line.
yeah, but what I mean is it's discouraging for the Japanese to have
Yeah.
that. And now they have to start all over again.
But yeah, like I said, and then like I wasn't expecting to get, because everybody's interested in the test match, So I was like, that's why I applied for the Stormers one as well, just because I'm like, it'll be still nice to see. I don't get to see the Springboks, but I get to see the British and Irish Lions team,
Yeah.
so it'll still be an experience. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to get tickets to both sets. So yeah.
Okay, it's very cool. You get to see both the Springbok game, especially. That's like a very rare occurrence. Excellent.
Let's go.
That try started from that line out, right on our 5 meter. That turnover.
Exactly. That no,
Fantastic.
Everybody underestimates a turnover, and they always like, in a sense, they drop their heads when you're so close on your own try line. They're like, oh no, they're gonna score. We're so close. Never give up. You keep pushing like the South Africans did, and then you drill. You drill. I want to say you drill and you drive, but yeah, you must drill hard and drive hard.
Keep going. Exactly. That was Peter Steff that did that turnover. Yeah, he's a line-out jumper too. He deserved Player of the Year, definitely versatile player. Yeah, I think so. But do you feel we run a bit more once Sos and Archie comes on? We up the pace. Probably, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. The bench is, we're lucky to have that bench. The Rugby Centre, Ireland versus SA 2017. No thanks. No thanks. I'm sure you'd want to watch it. Yeah, that was just a dark time because the coach was just, he changed nothing. Like, if things were clearly not working and he changed nothing. Anyway, as Ryan said, let's not talk about.
Let's not get into that. Open up that wound.
Yeah. Ethan, wish I could, but stuck in the UK. There's a lot of UK-based people that follow Bok memes. It's awesome. Thank you. It's great to see. I don't know if you're South African and you just live there. Yeah, let us know. That would be interesting. Are you expat or what? Ethan, the Lions games are expected to be 100% capacity, right? Not the COVID allowed attendance. Yeah, so it's sold to 100% of people. I think we'll be able to see a 100% capacity game by then.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah, because if you look at the direction of other countries and how they're going, I think it's possible.
Well, like obviously the way COVID is going on lockdown, we are fortunate enough to still be in level 1. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It all depends on how everybody handles their situation, wears their mask, be safe, social distance. But otherwise, if they don't, who knows? The tour could be cancelled.
Yeah, or they might do half capacity.
Yeah, but see, no, but that's a difficult thing though.
Well,
because then who gets to go to the match?
Random. You make it random. It's the only fair way to do it. I think that's a strong possibility.
Yeah, but still, that's. Whereas remember, like now, a lot of people, you get your tickets, you're happy, you feel very happy. Now you got the ticket, you're fortunate enough, and now, then it's you go random. It's like, no, that's not fair. Like I was gonna go, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. They must just be smart. They can do the Cape Town matches, and then I don't care what happens. They can go 50% capacity for anybody else. But yeah, it's a sought after tour.
Absolutely.
It's only once every 12 years, so it's gonna get sold out. And as far as I know, all tickets are sold out.
Yeah.
Whether or not everybody pitches up, that's the question. But I'm pretty sure it's 100% sold out. That I can guarantee. But we'll have to wait and see for on the day. I hope it is 100% capacity because and majority South African fans, because just hearing the cheering and singing the national anthem, that would be just an experience.
Yeah, I've never watched the Springboks live. Have you?
You've never?
I've never watched the
I
Springboks live.
did back in I think I was in grade 7, and I
Awesome.
watched I can't remember what grade I was in, but I know it's when they played against France.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I might have been 2010. But yeah, I've obviously watched a lot of provincial games, but yeah.
But yeah, if you guys can go over to my YouTube channel, Capio7, because or only next year will happen, but I'm planning on vlogging the whole experience. So yeah, you guys get to see a POV.
Yeah, I'll definitely after this live stream, because this live video will go up. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's let's see here. Ethan says, "Yeah, I'm from SA Cape Town. Moved here about 18 years ago. We both from Cape Town.
Born and raised.
Yeah, so we born here,
22
here.
years.
Yeah, so we know all about the Cape Town life." And Jordan says he's also moved to the UK, moved to London about
Hey,
18 months ago.
Maybe I'll be seeing them in a few years.
Yeah, Ryan maybe wants to go to the army there. But okay, cool. I'm happy for you guys. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying life there. Um, and I can only imagine. I don't know why you moved. Maybe for financial reasons or opportunities.
Pounds, baby, pounds.
Whatever the reason, whatever the reason, it's awesome that you still support the Springboks. So that's fantastic. I could never not support the Springboks, even if I moved to somewhere else. Faf had a great game, eh? His kicking game was on point. Herschel Yankees is now on 73 minutes. Yeah, we've won this game at this point.
Well, I'm not gonna say never say never, because like we know the outcome, but like in a match like this with 6 minutes left, you most of the time, yes, the game is over. But especially against a team like Japan, like in the beginning when they first started playing, yes, but like now that they're stronger, you never really know, because anything can happen. You can get a guy who gets a red card.
True.
Another player gets a yellow card, then it's 13 versus 15. And
but I mean, there's only 5 minutes and they need to score.
Yeah.
3
tries.
10, yeah.
3 converted tries.
3 converted tries. But yeah, as you said, anything could happen, I guess. Matthew Smith, the other way around. I'm English, but I lived in South Africa since I was 3. Okay, so you from England came. Yeah, awesome.
I know a Matthew Smith, but I'm not sure if it's the same guy though.
Okay. Cool. Did Matthew Smith move here when you was 3 years old?
I can't remember. It's been a while, but
okay.
If you know me, Matthew, just say yes. Then I'll know it's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
If not, it's good to meet you.
How's it? Francois Lowe is a great impact player here. To bring on, he saved us in that Wales game in the semi-final. He's an excellent fetcher. He's a great guy to bring on in the dying minutes of the game. When we won the World Cup, I just thought there's so many players, and I'm so glad that so many of these players, these legends, have gotten a World Cup under their belt, because it would have been sad for a lot of these players to go through their Springbok careers without a World Cup title. Guys like Beast, Francois Lowe, so great that they got rugby World Cups, and that will forever be in history.
Like, unfortunately, some players, in the past have been unable to,
yeah, like Mornay Steyn,
get the medal,
Ruan Pienaar, a couple of guys have missed out. Ruan Pienaar was part of the 2007 squad. No, but yeah, a lot of guys have missed out on it. So it's really cool that this generation has won a World Cup.
Because if you're lucky, you can see. If you're lucky enough, you'll be able to see 3 World Cups. If you get in at a young age, then you might be lucky enough to see 3 World Cups. Otherwise, most players only get to see 2 World Cups.
Well, Francois Steyn should have had 4 World Cups, but he missed 2015. But if he was playing in South Africa, and I can't remember why he was left out, but technically age wasn't a problem. He was still playing rugby at that time, so he could have been in 4 World Cups.
16 years, jeez. Well, I think if you're fit enough and you play the right position, because obviously certain positions require a lot more physicality from you. But otherwise, like you said, like you can go into your late 30s maybe and still be playing. So yes, you could if you get in at the right age. Maybe you get in when you're 21. You can play for World Cups. Like, but that's pushing. That's I would say for specific positions.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'd say if you're lucky enough, you get 3 World Cups.
yeah, yeah. To win one World Cup is absolute blessing and a dream come true because it's the highest standard of rugby. It's the highest achievement you can ever achieve in rugby. So I'm very happy for these guys. And you know, we were in grade three when we won the 2007 World Cup. That was, winning this World Cup made me feel like that again. It's so hard to describe what it's like being a young boy and having your national team win the World Cup.
I remember
It's unbelievable.
they played what's it? We are the champions over the intercom when we won it. The very next day at school.
Oh, yo. The Monday, because it was on a Saturday.
Was it on Saturday?
Yeah.
But yes, then the Monday.
Yeah, it's I'm consider myself very blessed to have experienced that just as a young boy because it inspires a generation. Before we won this World Cup, I always had that 2007 World Cup win in my heart, knowing like I've been alive during the World Cup. That World Cup inspired me. I will not give up hope. I don't know if you feel as emotional about it as I do, but it meant a lot to me. Um, the rugby center. Uh, First, he says, lads, just have to say the stream has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been amazing having you. Really appreciate you staying on for the whole time, guys. Give him a follow on Instagram, awesome page. Uh, and I'd be happy with a quarterfinal win. Yeah, he's an Irish fan, so yeah. One day, bro. One day. It's unbelievable, actually. Um, Thanks, Jordan. Agreed. Great stream. Thanks, gents. Yeah, thanks, Jordan. We'll try and do more. Hopefully, we can get some more people on next time. Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun.
Did you see what he said about the 4 Springboks who haven't won a World Cup?
Oh, I didn't see that. Apparently, there are only 4 Springboks who have won 50 plus tests, who have played 50 plus tests and not won a World Cup. I'm assuming that excludes. Oh, wait, no. Yes, okay. So I wonder who that is. Morne Stain, Fafte Clark man of the match, definitely deserved it. Morne Stain probably is one of them. Pat Lambie wasn't at 50.
What's happened to him?
He got too many concussions. He had to retire. Wow. 2 years ago, he had to retire. Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting stat. It's a very cool stat actually because it makes the Springbok feel like if I get 50 caps, I'm probably gonna win a World Cup. So that's actually a really cool stat to have.
Well, also if you've played 50 plus, for international team, you've played. That's the thing is that's many years though. That's what people don't realize because there's not a lot of international games that you do play throughout the year.
Yeah, but also remember that like New Zealand, it was a long time between their 2 World Cup wins. 1987 and then 2011. There were tons of players then who would have gone 50 caps and never won a World Cup. But we've won it like every 12 years, so it's been more realistic. Brayton Polster.
Well, let's not wait another 12 years though.
Yeah, well, let's hope we win the next one as well. Can't remember the other two. Yeah, not sure. Jean de Villiers actually did win a World Cup. He was in the 2007 squad and he only played like one match and then he got a really bad injury. I think he only played like 5 minutes of the first match and then he got a really bad injury.
I think it was his knee injury, wasn't it?
Something like that. He got a really bad injury and then he couldn't play. So technically he'll still part of that squad though. See how Khaleesi's back on. Has he always been on?
Yeah. He came back on when the yellow card went off.
No, I knew that, but normally Francois Lowe replaces him. Final whistle now about to blow. Now we're just kind of doing practice, but they should kick it out because an injury could happen or Just kick it out, guys.
Mm.
We don't need the points. It's a knockout match. Andre Fenter, Brayton Polser, Adrian Strauss. That's a really cool stat. Thanks for sharing that, Jordan. Yeah, Adrian Strauss obviously hasn't won one either. Eh? Those are all legends and they've never won it. Pretty sad. I think last time Mornay Stain played for the squad was 2016. And that's the game, guys. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. That was really cool.
It's different.
Final thoughts about the game?
Obviously, I'm still happy. We went through, and then this obviously led us, to win the World Cup. But it's every single little thing, like details, and every single little push or win, even not the final score, but just like turnovers, line-out wins, scrums, the mauls, everything. It just adds into the mentality. They drive towards the next match to push them further, so that they know, like, yes, we have what it takes to get through to the final.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think the Springboks were just too physical. I think our defense was too good. We smothered Japan. They weren't able to get through our defensive line for a try. They got a few breaks, but they never crossed the line, which is the most important thing. And I think that demoralized them, and they ran out of options, and they just had nothing else to do. And I think that was part of the plan the whole time, to play physically, and eventually they would break down. I think the Box probably expected them to be very electric in the first 10 minutes or so. But the Box did well. They held out. They were patient. That yellow card disturbed things, but they did a great job. Still so glad we won this World Cup. This was a great game watching. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you next time. Hopefully, we'll do it soon. Cheers.